Somebody found a penny in a jar of change last year, a 1943 penny. It looked exactly like every other penny they had ever seen. The difference was that it was copper. Every 1943 penny was supposed to be steel. A mistake at the mint during World War II created one of the rarest coins in American history, and authenticated examples have sold for over $800,000. That penny exists, it is out there, and before this video ends, I am going to show you the exact 30-second test that tells you whether the penny in your own jar is steel or copper. This is not about rare coins you need to spend thousands to find. This is about what is already sitting in your house. Here is the truth about coins that almost nobody teaches you. The difference between a coin worth face value and one worth a fortune almost never lives in the design. It lives in one letter on the back, a single digit in the date, a mint mark the size of a pencil point, a metal that feels identical to what it replaced. These are checkable details. They are testable tonight, and 10 of them are hiding in collections and coin jars across America right now. Number 10. The 1955 Double-Die Lincoln Penny. Most people have a jar of pennies somewhere, a drawer, a counter, a coffee can in the garage that hasn't been touched in a decade. And scattered somewhere in American collections are an estimated 20,000 pennies from 1955 that look, at first glance, exactly like every other wheat penny from that era, except they are not. In 1955, a misalignment during die production at the Philadelphia Mint caused the date and inscriptions to be engraved twice, slightly off from one another. Every coin struck by that die came out with a doubling so dramatic you can read it across a room. The date reads 1955 twice. The words "Liberty and in God we trust" appear with a shadow image of themselves running alongside. The Mint knew about the error and released the coins anyway, rather than destroy the whole batch. A circulated example in worn condition trades between $1,500 and $3,000. In gem uncirculated condition, the same coin has sold for over $114,000. Your test takes 10 seconds and requires no equipment. Look at the date on the front of a 1955 Lincoln wheat penny. A genuine double die has two completely separate, distinct sets of numerals. Not a blur, not a smear. Two crisp, separated impressions of the number 1955 sitting side by side. Then look at the word Liberty. The same clear doubling should be visible there. If you need a magnifier to see it, you are probably looking at common machine doubling, which adds nothing to the value. The 1955 double die is visible with the naked eye. That is how dramatic it is. The Mint released a $20,000 error rather than waste production. Somewhere in a jar of wheat pennies, that error is still waiting to be found. Number 9. The 1916 D Mercury Dime. This is the coin that has made more collectors' hearts stop than any other dime in American history. And it hides in rolls, jars, and inherited collections because it looks, at a casual glance, like any other Mercury dime from the first half of the 20th century. In 1916, the United States Mint introduced the Mercury dime, one of the most beautiful coin designs ever struck in America. Lady Liberty wearing a winged cap, silver and elegant, produced by the millions at 3 mints. At Philadelphia, over 22 million were struck. At San Francisco, over 10 million. At Denver, 264,000. That is the entire production run. The Denver Mint had prioritized quarter production late in the year and simply ran out of time. 264,000 coins in a country of 100 million people. Most of them went directly into circulation and were worn nearly smooth within a decade. An authenticated 1916 D Mercury dime in well-worn condition sells between $800 and $1,500 today. Uncirculated examples approach and exceed $30,000. A gem example with full bands detail sold for $300,000 at Stack's Bowers in 2020. Your test is on the reverse of the coin, which is the back. Look at the bottom of the torch for a small letter. No letter means Philadelphia. An S means San Francisco. A D means Denver. If that letter is a D and the date reads 1916, you are holding the single rarest regular issue dime of the 20th century. But here is the warning I owe you. The 1916 D is the most counterfeited dime in American history. The most common fake is a genuine 1916 Philadelphia dime with a D mint mark added afterward. Before you tell anyone what you think you have, put it in a holder and take it to PCGS or NGC for authentication. The cost is under $50. The mistake of skipping that step can cost you everything. Number 8. The 1893 S. Morgan Silver Dollar. If you inherited a collection of Morgan silver dollars, the large silver coins with Lady Liberty on one side and an eagle on the other, you may be holding a very ordinary coin worth $40 over silver value. Or you may be holding the single most valuable date in the entire Morgan dollar series. The Morgan dollar was minted from 1878 to 1904, and then again in 1921. Tens of millions were struck across multiple mints. Most are common, but in 1893, the San Francisco Mint struck only 100,000, the lowest mintage of any Morgan dollar by a margin that still stuns collectors. And then the Pittman Act of 1918 ordered the melting of hundreds of millions of silver dollars to send silver to Britain during World War I. Many of those 100,000 1893 S dollars were melted alongside millions of others. The finest known example, graded MS-67 by PCGS, sold at Great Collections in 2021 for $2,086,000. Even a heavily worn example, barely readable, trades between $2,500 and $5,000. Your test is simple and costs nothing. Look at the reverse of any Morgan silver dollar. Below the eagle's tail, you will see a mint mark, or the absence of one. An S means San Francisco. Then check the date on the front. If it reads 1893 and the reverse carries an S, you are holding the key date of the entire Morgan series. Do not clean it. Do not polish it. Cleaning a coin destroys grade and value irreversibly. Take it to a professional numismatist before anyone else handles it. The coin that was struck in modest numbers during an economic panic and survived a government melting program is the one hiding in the least glamorous drawer in the house. Number 7. The 1943 copper penny. This is the one I promised you in the first 30 seconds, and it deserves its own moment. In 1943, America was at war. Copper was needed for shell casings and military equipment. The government ordered the mint to switch penny production from copper to zinc-coated steel. Every penny struck in 1943 was supposed to come out silver-colored, magnetic, and made of steel. But a small number of copper planchets, the blank discs used to make coins, from 1942 production had been left in the presses. Before anyone caught the mistake, a handful of copper pennies dated 1943 were struck and released into circulation alongside the steel ones. The exact number is unknown. Estimates run between 12 and 40 genuine copper examples spread across all three mints. A 1943 D copper penny, the Denver Mint variety, sold in 2021 for $840,000. Even a Philadelphia Mint copper penny in circulated condition has cleared $300,000 at authenticated auction. Here is your test, and it is the simplest test in this entire video. Hold a magnet to your 1943 penny. A steel penny jumps immediately to the magnet. A copper penny does not move. That is the entire test. If your 1943 penny shows no magnetic attraction, it weighs approximately 3.11 grams rather than the steel penny's 2.7 grams, and the color is reddish-brown rather than silver-gray, you need to stop everything and call PCGS or NGC for immediate authentication before you show it to another person. The warning I owe you is that fakes are everywhere. The most common counterfeit is a steel 1943 penny that has been copper-plated to look authentic. The magnet test catches most of them. The weight test catches most of the rest. But genuine authentication by a professional service is the only thing that protects you from selling a real one for nothing or buying a fake for everything. Number 6. The 1913 Liberty Head Nickel. This is not a coin you are likely to find in a jar, but it is a coin that has appeared in closets, in inherited collections, and in a Virginia family's home where it sat for 41 years after being mistakenly declared a fake. In 1913, the Liberty Head nickel design was officially replaced by the Buffalo nickel. No Liberty Head nickels were authorized to be struck that year, and yet 5 of them exist. Only 5 in the entire world have ever been found. Where they came from, how they were made, and who authorized their production has been debated for over 100 years. The most widely accepted theory is that a mint employee named Samuel Brown struck them secretly and then sold them privately in 1920. Whatever the origin, the coins are real, documented, and individually cataloged. One of the 5 was discovered in a car crash that killed its owner. It was then declared a fake by an uninformed buyer. The 4 Virginia siblings who inherited it put it in a closet and forgot about it for over 4 decades. When it was finally authenticated, it sold at Heritage Auctions in 2013 for $3,172,500. The finest of the 5 has sold for $4,560,000. Your test is straightforward. A genuine 1913 Liberty Head nickel looks like a normal Liberty Head nickel from 1883 to 1912 with one crucial difference. The date reads 1913. If you have any nickel with a Liberty Head design dated 1913, you have found either one of the 5 most valuable nickels in existence, or a counterfeit. Either outcome requires immediate professional authentication. Do not spend it. Do not trade it. Do not put it back in a drawer. Get it authenticated before the day ends. Before we get to the top 5. Every coin on this list so far has come down to one detail: a date, a mint mark, a metal that should not have been there, a design that was not supposed to exist. These are not secret signals that only dealers can read. They are checkable tonight, with the coins already in your possession. The gap between a dealer who knows what they are looking at and a family that gives it away at an estate sale is not intelligence or luck. It is knowing which detail to look for before anyone else at the table gets the chance. The top 5 is where the numbers stop being surprising and start being generational. Number 5. The 1794 Flowing Hair Silver Dollar. Most people have never held a coin from 1794. Most people assume that if they had one, they would know. They would not, because a genuine 1794 flowing hair silver dollar looks, to an untrained eye, like an old worn coin with a woman's portrait on one side and a thin eagle on the other. It does not announce what it is. The Philadelphia Mint began striking silver dollars in October 1794. On the first day, 1,758 coins were struck. They were not distributed to the public. They went to the mint director, who distributed them to congressmen, visiting dignitaries, and important citizens as souvenirs of the new nation's coinage program. Many numismatic experts believe the finest known example of the 1794 flowing hair silver dollar was the very first coin struck by the United States Mint. That specific coin sold at Stack's Bowers in January 2013 for $10,016,875. It remains the first coin in history to sell at public auction for over $10 million. Lower-grade circulated examples still exist and trade at significant prices depending on condition and authentication. If you find any coin dated 1794 showing Lady Liberty with flowing hair on the front and a small, almost skeletal eagle on the back, do not attempt to clean it, identify it from an internet image, or price it yourself. Its value is entirely dependent on authentication, grade, and provenance. Take it to Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers for a professional assessment. The dignitaries who received these coins in 1794 left them to their families. Some of those families left them to their children. The trail of some of these coins goes cold for decades at a time before they reappear. Number 4. The 1804 Silver Dollar. The 1804 silver dollar is one of the most famous coins in American numismatics. Not because it is the rarest, not because it is the oldest, but because of what it is not. No silver dollars were actually struck for circulation in 1804. The coins dated 1804 were produced years later, in the 1830s, as diplomatic gifts from the United States government to foreign heads of state. President Andrew Jackson sent sets of American coins to the King of Siam and the Sultan of Muscat. Those sets included silver dollars retroactively dated 1804. 15 examples are known to exist today. They are divided into 3 classes based on when they were made, and that classification determines value. A Class 1 original, one of the 8 made as diplomatic gifts in the 1830s, sold at Heritage Auctions in January 2019 for $3,960,000. Your test is the date. Any silver dollar dated 1804 with Lady Liberty on the front requires immediate professional examination. It is either one of the rarest coins in American history or one of the most sophisticated counterfeits in the hobby. And distinguishing between the two is not a task for anyone without specialized numismatic equipment and expertise. A raw, unholdered 1804 silver dollar claiming authenticity should raise every flag you have. Buy only slabbed, graded examples from PCGS or NGC with documented provenance. The diplomatic coins sent to kings have a way of quietly passing through generations before anyone realizes what they are. Number 3. The 1933 St. Gaudens Double Eagle. This is the coin with a legal history more dramatic than almost any other object in American collecting. In 1933, the United States Mint struck 445,500 double eagle gold coins worth $20 each. They were never released. President Roosevelt's executive order taking the country off the gold standard meant every one of them was ordered to be melted down. Nearly all of them were. But a coin dealer named Israel Swit obtained a small number of examples that had somehow made it out of the mint before the melt order. For decades, the government pursued these coins, seizing them whenever they appeared. 2 examples sit in the Smithsonian. The government owns 11 more. Only one coin in the world has ever been legally monetized and authorized for private ownership. That single coin, once owned by King Farouk of Egypt and later stored in a vault beneath the World Trade Center before September 11, 2001, sold at Sotheby's in June 2021 for $18,872,250. It is the most valuable coin ever sold at public auction. Owning any other example of the 1933 double eagle remains illegal. If you find what appears to be one, the correct response is to contact the government, not sell it. The Secret Service will not look kindly on a private sale. But the reason this coin belongs on this list is what it teaches about every other coin on it. The difference between the most valuable coin in American history and a $20 gold piece somebody melted was one moment. One person's decision to take it out of the facility before the order came. That is how close to ordinary these extraordinary objects live. Number 2. The 1916 D-Dime. You actually might own earlier in this video, I told you about the 1916 D Mercury dime. But there is a reason I want to come back to it before number 1. The 1916 D is the rarest regular issue dime of the 20th century. But it circulated. It passed through hands. It sat in change jars and rolled through laundromats and landed in coin rolls at the bank. A coin worth $1,500, even in heavily worn condition, has been spending time in drawers for over 100 years, precisely because it looks like a regular dime. The most commonplace the 1916 D Mercury dime is found today is in inherited coin collections. Someone's grandfather was a casual collector in the 30s or 40s, bought a nice-looking Mercury dime at face value, put it in a folder with the rest of the series, and never told anyone what was in the folder. If you have inherited any coin collection that includes Mercury dimes, meaning small silver dimes with the winged Liberty portrait from the 1916 to 1945 era, go through every single one before you sell the collection or hand it to a dealer. Check the date. Check the mint mark on the reverse. A 1916 D is worth more than the entire rest of the folder combined. The grandfather who filled that folder for 10 cents a coin left his family something worth thousands. He just never said so. Number 1. The Morgan silver dollar in your grandmother's dresser. And here is the one I promised you at the very beginning. Not a specific date, not a specific mint mark. The coin most likely already in your house, or the house of someone you know right now. Morgan silver dollars, the large silver coins with the Liberty portrait and the eagle, were minted in enormous quantities between 1878 and 1921. Most are worth $40 to $60 over their silver melt value, and I will not pretend otherwise. But here is what almost nobody checks before they sell a collection or hand a bag of old coins to a dealer. Every Morgan dollar has a date and a mint mark. The mint mark sits on the reverse, below the eagle's tail. The combination of those two pieces of information determines whether you are holding a $40 coin or a $40,000 coin. The 1893 S is the key date I already told you about. But the Morgan series has dozens of date and mint mark combinations that trade well above face value. And the difference between knowing that and not knowing, it is the difference between what a dealer offers you and what your coin is actually worth. Your test tonight is not complicated. Take every Morgan silver dollar out of whatever drawer, box, or velvet bag it lives in. Look at the date on the front. Look at the mint mark on the back, below the eagle. Write down every combination. Then check them against the PCGS price guide, which is free and online, before you hand them to anyone for any price. 15 minutes of checking could change the number on a dealer's offer significantly. The most common mistake I have watched happen over 20 years of seeing collections change hands is a family selling a bag of Morgan dollars as a bulk silver lot because nobody looked at the mint marks. The dealer who buys that bag looks. He always looks. You should look first. So, before you sell a single coin at a garage sale, before you let anyone count out a bulk silver price on a collection somebody built over 40 years, before you give a coin jar to anyone for the face value of its contents, do one thing. Hold a magnet to your 1943 pennies. Check the mint marks on your Morgan dollars. Look at the dates on your Mercury dimes. Read the date on every nickel you think might be old. Look at every coin in your hand as a document, not a denomination. The face value of a coin is the story the government printed on it. The date and the mint mark are the truth. And in coin collecting, the truth has always been worth more than the denomination. If this made you want to go find your coin jar tonight, tap the like button. It tells me to keep making these. Subscribe if you want to walk through every corner of your collection this way, because that is exactly what we do here. And tell me in the comments, what is the oldest coin you own and where did it come from? A grandparent's collection? A jar you found at an estate sale? Change you never spent from a trip 30 years ago? I read every single one. Do not hand a single coin to anyone before you check the date and the mint mark.